Your thoughts on topics are always shifting, constantly evolving. Your perspective is constantly changing, and if it's moving in the right direction, that's growth. That's maturity. It's completely natural to change your views over time. You look back and think, wow, I completely changed my views and thoughts on this topic. In this video, I'm going to talk about this idea, how we integrate new ideas, concepts, and realizations in our life and how we transcend them. You learn something, internalize it, and make it your own. Then you put it into action. Over time, you begin to apply what you've learned in the context of others, whether by helping, teaching, or collaborating with them. Eventually, you start to connect the dots, combining and synthesizing the information in new ways. In other words, transforming it and transcending it to a new, quote-unquote, higher perspective, even though higher doesn't exist, higher in the context that it feels better. So a quote-unquote higher paradigm. I can look back on my old videos, for example, and recognize that I now think of things very differently and would communicate it quite differently as well. Often we only see a glimpse or glimmer of the full picture. Communication is a powerful skill that gradually matures for this reason. Once you start seeing the more subtle nature of things and how it isn't so black and white, you need more words to accurately explain what you're trying to say, because words are pointers. They point to an idea, an abstract concept, which is just something that is made up.
Nice view with the done.
But what I think is the past as a snapshot in time. The perfectionist part of me might feel like I have to be consistent, I have to do it right. And until I have figured out the right way, I should be silent and not communicate, not publish a video or create content or not express myself to others. Someone recently told me this, which I thought was super interesting, in relation to the way children are taught to read or learn. Reading is a compromise on your thoughts if you don't learn to think for yourself. Reading is to understand the puzzle. You have to complete the puzzle. I think that's a beautiful way of essentially saying, make what you learn your own. Obviously, there's a stage where we're learning and being open, but let's not get stuck there. And we can do that first through becoming active with what we've learned, working with it in the context of other people, and then finally transcending it. This is the same in all the areas of life, whether it be personal growth, creative expression, or professional development. We go through cycles of learning, applying, and evolving. The key is to not resist change, but embrace it, recognizing that growth often feels uncomfortable and confusing as we are between paradigms, because it challenges the identity we once held onto. It's easy to feel like we need to stick to what we once believed, as if changing our mind is a sign of weakness or inconsistency. But in reality, it's actually a sign of strength. It means we're thinking critically. It means we are engaging with new perspectives. It means we are allowing ourselves to move beyond the limitations of our past understanding. Think of it like climbing a mountain. At every stage, you have a different view. What seemed like the peak before was just a small hill in the grand scheme of things. And that's okay. Each viewpoint serves an important and necessary purpose in your journey. And rather than clinging to old beliefs or old views, or even criticizing or feeling bad about them, it's about using them as stepping stones. When it comes to creating content or expressing our opinions, it's the same. Sometimes we hesitate to put our thoughts out there because we're afraid they'll be wrong in the future. Especially in this cancel culture where people are held to their word for things that they said years or decades ago. But the reality is, you will evolve. And that's the beauty of it. It's not about being perfect. It's about being true to who you are in the present during your journey. So, instead of fearing change, let's see it as an invitation to grow, to explore, and to keep moving forward, knowing that every perspective we hold is just another piece of the ever expanding puzzle.